Have you ever set a big challenging goal and you started to work towards it, but it always felt like it was so far away, and because of that you lost your motivation and excitement for reaching that goal? Often when we set a goal and we feel like we're not moving forward, we can become really hard on ourselves and feel like we're failing. Even if other people from the outside might look at us and it might seem for them like we're, achieving all of this amazing stuff, we can feel depressed and miserable about ourselves and the progress we've been making. But why is that? Well, it is because we focus too much on the gap instead of the gain. Hey, what's up guys? It's Nick here and welcome to my channel. And in today's video, we're going to talk about why people feel like they are behind in life. It always fascinated me why some people are always happy and feel successful, while others seem to be never satisfied with where they are. And after talking to one of my coaches, it actually made a lot of sense why that is. What it eventually came down to is how different people measure their goals and their progress against their goal or their ideal outcome. God bless you. Whenever we set a goal, we often have this ideal future that we want to head to, a picture that we want to eventually achieve. And sometimes we even have an example of this ideal future. We might even know someone or we see someone on TV who has this future that we want. The purpose of this ideal future is to motivate us and keep us excited of what we're about to achieve in the future. Like in the end, it is exciting if we go ahead into the future that is, bigger and better. But an ideal future is actually hard to measure its progress. The only purpose it serves is to kind of feel like, are we moving forward or not? And like, where are we trying to head to? A goal, on the other hand, is pretty measurable and we can track our progress. But here's where a lot of people go wrong. In the book, The Gap and the Gain, Dan Sullivan explains the different ways how people measure their progress when they're trying to achieve a goal. Most of us are focused on how far we have to go to reach a certain goal. And this is what we call the gap. Instead, Dan Sullivan actually recommends us to look on the progress we've made, how far we actually have come since, starting our goal. And this is what he calls the gain. So to visualize the gap and the gain for you, imagine a graph, and imagine your goal, your ideal future being all the way up here. And you start completely at the bottom here. So your ideal future is here and you start here. You might have already started fighting for the goal and you're somewhere around here in the middle. And the gap is the area between where you are right now and your ideal future, where you want to be. And the gain is the area of where you are right now and where you started when you started this whole goal. So once you're here in the middle, you can either look forward to the gap, to how far you have to go still, or you can look backwards to the gain, to all the progress you have made already. So let's take, for example, the goal of becoming a millionaire, reaching that $1 million mark. Let's say you started that goal 2 years ago with $0 in your bank and you started to invest and to save a lot of money, and right now you have about like $50,000. If we compare this $50,000 to this 1 million, it might seem too far away and it might be too daunting that you're thinking about yourself, it's too hard, maybe I should quit this already and just stop doing it. But if we take a second and look back at how far you came, coming from $0 to $50,000, we can actually look at how much progress you've made. First of all, you have 50,000 from zero. You already made a huge leap forward. And second, you also build amazing habits while doing it. You probably know more about investing, more about saving. People are coming to you for financial advice. You start to become more conscious about your spending. All of these amazing habits came from you starting this goal and actually going forward. If you measure your current self against your previous self, where you were when you set your goals or even before that, you'll experience happiness, satisfaction, and excitement because you've seen how much progress you've made. But if you start looking at where you are right now and always just look how far it is to reach your goal, you will have a recipe for, regret, anger, and depression. You will never be satisfied because there will always be a goal that you need to achieve higher. And we don't only compare ourselves with the ideal future we see. We often also have someone we look up to, someone who already has what we want, and we start comparing ourselves to that person. And that's actually where most unhappiness comes from. This is also very true for my own life. When I started going to the gym, I was, the newbie of all the newbies there. Everyone was fitter than me there, and it actually motivated me to also get fit. I was excited. I saw all of these people being strong and lean. I was like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too. So it started to motivate me. So I started to work out, and a year later, I gained more muscle. I became leaner. I became stronger. But no matter how hard I trained, there was always someone who was bigger, leaner, and stronger than I was. And I kept comparing myself with that person, and it felt like I was never making enough progress. It felt like I was always trying to catch up with this person. Even though I was leaner, I was able to lift more weights, I felt like I still wasn't close enough to my goal. I was feeling bad of how far I need to go to actually reach the level of this other person. And that's where I focused too much on the gap instead of actually focusing on the gain. In 1 year, I actually went from doing 0 pull-ups to being able to do 10 consecutive pull-ups. And also from 0 or 5 push-ups to making 50 push-ups. So objectively speaking, I made a lot of progress. I just couldn't see it myself because I was just focused on that other person who maybe could have done 100 push-ups or 150 push-ups. And I was comparing myself to that and wanting to get to that. And the fun part here is the person I looked up to, who was like huge and strong, probably also had another person he looked up to who was even bigger and stronger than he was. And he felt like he wasn't making any progress and feeling bad because he was here and the other person that he looked up to was here. It's a vicious cycle that keeps going and never ends if you don't start focusing on the gain. One thing to remember is that having an ideal future or someone you aspire to become is not a bad thing. It's definitely a good place to start going after your dreams and goals. It only becomes a bad thing if you start measuring yourself constantly to how far you need to go to reach that goal, and you start feeling unhappy why you're not able to get there yet. So how can we start focusing more on the gain in our lives? Well, I want you to look at the goal that you've been trying to achieve for a little while but haven't reached yet. Maybe you want to lose 10 pounds, or you wanted to make $10,000 a month, or maybe you're working in a company and you really want to become in that managerial position. Instead of looking at how far you have to go to reach that ideal future, look back and ask yourself some questions like, what did I accomplish since I started? Did I exercise more? Did I get fit? Did I save more money than I ever did? Just look back at all your gains and write them all down and see how far you came. If you don't have a specific goal but you feel like you're behind in life, you can also do this exercise in a general way and see just what you accomplished in life. And this is pretty much like a reverse bucket list. You know how people kind of create a list of all the amazing things they want to eventually accomplish in life and do in life? Well, for you, I want you to create a list of 50 things, 50 amazing experiences or things you have accomplished back in your life. Maybe you finished college, maybe you got your driver's license, maybe you have an amazing job or found your soulmate, got an amazing best friend, or maybe you just moved countries. Just look back at your life and look back at all the amazing things you experienced and just feel how awesome it is that you actually did that. So I hope, guys, you got a little bit more clarity on a mindset or a topic that you weren't completely aware of. I know for me, the first moment that I really understood this, it was really an eye-opener for me. So definitely, grab the ebook. I'll put a link down below. So read the ebook, really start implementing it in your own life. Even today, if there's something you're frustrated or depressed about and you're starting to compare in your mind, make sure that you're not comparing, something, against your ideal future or someone else. Make sure you're comparing to what you've actually accomplished in life and look backwards. Look back at all the amazing stuff you did and start comparing in that direction. Once we start focusing more on the gain instead of the gap, we start to feel like we're moving forward in life and we start to become happier in what we do. So thank you for watching today's video. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do it somewhere right here, and I will see you guys in the next video.